What's up, guys? This is Serial Killer here. I wanted to talk about the new patch that is about to hit Tarkov. It's the 12.7 patch. It has a lot of new content, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's break down into it right now. So essentially, the big tickets here is customs expansion. Now, this is an expansion to the map that already exists, customs. Now, this map has received a couple of extensions thus far already, making it a lot larger. It fulfilled the spaces around the map a little better, so it didn't bottleneck as much. Now with this one on the construction side, as I like to call it, they're expanding the area over there. From what I understand, old gas is going to somehow connect to construction, which would be really cool. So I want to lead into this clip here so you can better see what Escape from Tarkov is trying to convey with this new area. Potential raiders, multiple floors, warehouse, inside fighting, as well as a large exterior with many positional advantages to have fights. Now this spot right here, this is Skeleton. This is overlooking Skeleton. So this is actually overlooking what you already consider as construction. Walking through here, you have the blue bin exit from construction here. You have a couple holes in the wall right here. And dorms is going to be somewhere back here on the map. So you're almost doubling this space of the map. It is no longer a chokehold point in when you're transitioning from one half of the map to another, and the fights are going to happen still in this zone, but now you have a more widespread area to kind of create distance between you and your opponents if you're running something that you may want to be a little further back from your opponent rather than in their face. It really offers a nice little change to you know, the pace of the game in this area. So moving on, besides the custom expansion, which is going to be a huge update in this game, now we get to think about the new Scav boss. Brand new Scav boss. We're really looking forward to that when we had the addition of Reshala and Killa and Sturmin, excuse me. I call him Bobby Shmurda, but that's just me. Now these Scav bosses have really added a depth to this game. Now if your raid is dead, with PMCs, or you get a bunch of hatchlings or pistoliers and there's no real good juice or loot on the map to be had by these players, now you can actually hunt down these Scav bosses, and now they're adding one to another map. They're adding the Sanitar right here, the Scav boss Sanitar. I like how Nikita was calling it Senator. It's pretty funny. Also, another tidbit is that Nikita, when asked about the Vector, the 45 caliber Vector, it isn't mentioned in these notes. He said, might be on a Scav boss. And he had a little bit of a Nikita giggle to that. So I'm inclined to believe that this Scav boss might be carrying the Vector. They did that with Gluhar when they added him to the reserve map with an Ash 12. Standalone gun, brand new gun to the game. And they added it with the Scav boss. So this kind of leads me to believe that this Scav boss might have the Vector. So I'm looking forward to that. Even though it's not mentioned in the patch notes, I can only kind of anticipate and interpret what Nikita's saying. So you give a little bit of a background. He's a former doctor. He has the ability to heal his bodyguards, essentially, heal himself quickly, and heal random scavs throughout the map. It's going to probably add some new quest lines on Shoreline, as they kind of mention right here, new quests on Shoreline that are going to be maybe specific to that boss. I don't know. I can only speculate. They don't give much detail on that. There's also going to be a big improvement to the quality of life of this game. There is now a system for reporting suspicious players, unacceptable nicknames, and game bug abusers on the post-match screen. Now we have the ability to report players when it's an evident hack. Now, albeit I call hacks sometimes, and I'm just a little salty that may have been outplayed, but there are some deliberate hackers out there that are rapid firing as if it was an automatic fire SVD with 20 headshots to the face in a matter of seconds, and these evident hackers must go. They're somehow getting through the battle eye system, and they need to go. So maybe this is a way that we're able to get out and weed out those folks that are somehow slipping by. There's been AI improvements. Now the bots can pick up items now off the floor. AIs can now see bodies on the floor, and somehow they compute that. I'm not sure how they're going to compute that. Maybe they become a little bit more aware of their surroundings and start scanning. But they can also pick up a second firearm for bodies. It just sounds like these AIs have gotten smarter, and they are going to react to certain, I'd say, situations a little differently, maybe as more of a player does. In essence, they're going to look more like players. If you've been following Tarkov and you've been through a couple of these wipes, you've seen the scavs, the AI scavs, increasingly grow to look more and more like players. And that is terrifying because you never know who you're really going against, especially when you scav in and you think you're with a friendly scav. That scav might not be friendly anymore. These notes that are on these patch notes are a little scary. One that really stood out to me was bots can check someone for friend or foe by aiming at him for some time if they're not sure of one's intentions. Now, that happens to me when I scav in and I meet a fellow player scav and he's friendly and we do the wiggle. But now you don't even know if that's a player scav. That might just be an AI intimidating you. Now, the game's a little harder because now you don't really can really tell rather if it's a player scav or an AI scav. Now, the confirmed new weapons that they've introduced on the podcast, there's a grenade launcher and a new shotgun. Now, the grenade launcher was pretty cool. I'm interested to see how the grenade launcher fits into the meta. They were saying that it's going to be expensive and that it's going to be costly to bring into the raid, and that you can't stack the grenades. They're standalone grenades, and that you have to have enough room for them, and they have to be in your pockets or your rigs, and that's what they were implying. But nevertheless, having a grenade launcher where the nades are at right now already in the game, where you can quickly throw them with G. I know Clean was bringing it up on his streams and stuff like that, that it's a little ridiculous how you could just lob grenades without a care, and you could just rapidly press G to just lob grenades. I think we're headed to something a little bit more according to his pleasure, which is there's a little bit of a transition time before you can get the next nade off, which is with the grenade launcher, which is fantastic. But grenades are still in a place where they're spammable still, and they need to be fixed. So we'll see how the grenade launcher plays its way into the meta. The new shotgun, it's an interesting shotgun. It just seems like your typical pump shotgun. We'll see how it kind of plays out in the meta as well. I haven't had much experience with this shotgun, so I'm not sure how it's going to react, and on an IRL scale. So I can't offer much advice for that. Now, they did touch upon the 366 AP ammo. Now, this is a fictitious ammo because they were saying 366 is typically a civilian ammo, so this is kind of fictitious ammo, and Nikita was actually excited that he's bringing up an imaginary ammo to the game. So it's actually very, very cool that we get 366 AP rounds, because 366 is just not part of the game. It is irrelevant. You drop everything that's 366 unless it's your only option and you're scavving in, and that's what you got. Even then, your bullets are just like Cocoa Pebbles, man. They just tap the target, tickle them a little bit, never really send him to his grave. Now, there's a couple other ammos here. ACP Hydroshock, Quakemaker, 9x19. So these two ammos right here, they're more for flesh damage. Now the 9x19 7N31 is supposed to be a little better than the 9x19 AP rounds, which gives you another option and has more pen. It is a better bullet. That might lower the prices of the AP rounds and make 9mm a much more budget running gun, because the AP rounds are the only real good ammo to bring in right now that you can feel comfortable putting in a 9x19 gun. And now you might have another option for more firepower, but at the same time, if you're trying to cut the budget down a little bit, you might be able to use AP rounds. Now you got the 45 ACP laser match FMJ. I'm thinking this is just a standard FMJ round. Laser match, I'm not sure what that means. I'm guessing maybe it's a tracer round. I don't really care. It's kind of crappy ammo. I'm not going to use it. Now you have the 45 ACP AP. So now you have AP rounds for the 45. Now, if that Vector comes out and it's high rate of fire and you can get this AP rounds in there and like 30 round clips or more, holy cow, man. That Vector has a high fire rate. You might be talking a 45 with Val consistency when it comes to recoil as well as damage dealt per second. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, they mentioned that the M993 here for the 7.6251, that might be a little bit better than M61. So another option there. Now maybe M61 kind of falls into the place of where M80 is. Maybe it gets a little bit closer of where M80 is, and maybe we have a little bit of a better round that we can put in those semi-automatic rifles that we like to use, such as the Hunter or the M1, and now we can deal more damage and pen with the M61s at a better rate, because right now rounds in this game are they're the largest money pit in the entire game. Now there was some additions right here for shotgun ammo. I'm not gonna really get into that right now. I still think AP slugs are the only way to go with shotgun ammo, but right now, and I'm really big of a shotgun guy, so, you know, I can't offer much advice for this until I do some testing when this patch comes out. Now, the new stimulants, those are very cool. Now, I'm going to pop a couple up here on the screen. The 3-B-TG, the L1 noradrenaline, the P22, the AHF1-M, melatonin, I think it's melatonin, Abdul Boost cocktail, and the mule. Now the mule one looks really cool because you actually can carry 50% more. It actually decreases the weight by 50% for the duration of the stim. That would be really helpful when you get into those 70-80 kilo ranges and you're just fucking chugging out and you're having a hard time getting to your extract. Now you might be able to bring that down to 40 and be able to sprint a little bit and get to your extract without hearing every 5 seconds, you know what I mean? And then going prone, and you know, you've been there. If you've gotten juice, you've been there. It's aggravating. Now, the other big thing that they're bringing to this patch that is worth noting is there are new skills as well as some modifications to the skill system. We'll go through them really quickly. So the new surgery skill comes out. Now it reduces the HP penalty for surgery because it actually lowers your cap when you repair a black arm with a Serve kit or CMS. Serve 12 kit actually does not decrease it as much than the CMS. However, it's better than a blacked out limb either way you go. But now you have a skill that's going to help you achieve a little higher cap, I presume. I'm not sure by how much, but we'll see what happens. It also improves your surgery skill as you level up this skill. The elite status, there is no HP penalty for restored body part, which I think is awesome. You know, also, you know, it's like you never lost anything in the raid in a sense of HP wise longevity, and it actually increases the maximum increased speed of surgery. I kind of want to see fast surgery happen. That sounds like a lot of fun. New skill, aim drills, increases the aiming speed. I'm guessing that's increasing your ADS speed, and decreases the volume of aiming. So maybe this is the volume of the arm strength, or maybe the sway or whatnot of your crosshair. Not really sure right now. I think that's what they meant. The elite status, no handshaking at any stamina value, first 2 seconds after aiming. Reduced handshaking during tremor and fracture the first 2 seconds after aiming. I'm looking forward to these new skills that are being added because I think it'll add a little bit more depth to the game. And quite honestly, I mean, I do a lot of these, so I should be able to level them up pretty fast. Rework of the strength skill. We absolutely needed that. Now, the rework of the strength skill, you're increasing all your weight limits with it. You increase the speed of the sprint. You increase the jump height. You increase the strength of the grenade throw and increase the strength of melee attack. Elite status. The weight does not take into account the weapons on the sling and on the back, which is huge because each one of those weapons is a big chunk of that amount. It's probably close to a quarter to half, anywhere in between there, of what your weight value is when you're all juiced up and filled. Additionally, the melee attack can be stronger than usual in Elite. Maybe you start just one-tapping people. Maybe you just go in there with a machete and just hack people all day. You might see some really cool videos of some hatchet runs when people reach the strength of Elite. You know, they just throw on, you know, an Alton, you know, Gen 4, and just get after it. So there's a rework of the endurance skill as well. It increased the feet stamina. I'm guessing it just increases the stamina in which you jump, run, anything with your legs, pretty much. I think it means leg stamina, but Nikita said feet. Reduce stamina consumption for jumping. Increase holding breath time when you're ADSing. Increase the speed of breath recovery after you release holding your breath and then re-hold your breath. You maximize increase in breathing recovery rate with Elite. Increases the maximum increase in breathing recovery rate. Elite also, breathing is no longer dependent on energy, and it increases stamina reserve. There's been some small fixes to some old skills, and they also added 5 HP to the chest zone. So now your maximum health is 440 instead of 435. Now there's some optimization changes as well as some bug fixes that we're not going to get into. I wanted to keep this video kind of relatively short for those of you that missed the podcast and are looking for a little bit more insight from, you know, somebody that's playing the game avidly and whatnot, and how it's going to affect my gameplay. I would really like to know what your thoughts are on this patch. I'm really excited to see this patch go live. Now, Nikita was saying sometime early next week, so I'm thinking early next week this patch goes live, or mid next week this patch goes live, and the first thing I'm going to hit is I'm going to start hitting Shoreline, finish my quest on Shoreline while looking for the Sanitar. The Sanitar. The Sanitar? Sanitar. I got it that time. Make sure you catch me on Twitch. I'm streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm looking to add more days and extended hours for streaming. I'm just trying to grow my follower count and my viewer count right now so that it makes more sense for me to put more time into it. I'm going to be trying to put out more quality content on YouTube to kind of build my channel and build my content. So any suggestions in the comments as well would be greatly appreciated. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me on stream. Other than that, thanks for watching and good luck escaping Tarkov.